Hey guys, welcome back once again. This is Srikanth Rathod here. Today's topic is factoring, distributing, and solving simultaneous equations, or we can say a system of equations. So, let me tell you, this is the continuation of the previous class. In the last class, we discussed about some basic definition of algebra along with some examples. Okay, so let's start. Factoring and distributing. Factoring simply means finding the sum factor that is in every term of an expression and pulling it out. Factoring make an equation easier to solve. So let's consider an example here. X cube minus 5x square plus 6x equals to 0. So what is the common term in this entire expression? X is the common. So x cube means there are 3x, x square means there are 2x, and x is the single. So you have to take the minimum, the smallest term as a common out. So if I take x as a common, how that expression becomes? It becomes x square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0, right? Now look at how we pulled out the x term here. Now the term or the expression which left in the bracket, it's a quadratic equations, and we know that a formula to find the quadratic equation, or we can also make use of a calculator if allowed to solve for the quadratic equation, right? So this is how. So what would be the possible value of x here? To make this entire expression to be equal to 0, either x has to be equal to 0 or this entire expression has to equal to 0, then only this entire expression will equal to 0. So I can say x equal to 0 or x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. So this is how it becomes a quadratic equation now, and we can solve for this to get what are the values of x to make this quadratic equation equal to 0, and that I'll be discussing in detail about my next video. Okay, right. Now the one thing what you can observe here is when you multiply back this x to this whatever the term left in this bracket, so you should get the original expression. So that is how you are taking something as a common out, and if you multiply back you should get the same expression as original, right? Okay, let's take one example here. X to the power 5 plus x to the power 4 plus x cube plus x square divided by x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. So simplify that. The condition says x is not equal to -1. So why the condition has been mentioned? Because if you consider x as a -1 and the denominator of this entire expression becomes 0, and it violates the law of math. So what are the two conditions should avoid? The denominator should not be equal to 0, that is the first thing, and the second condition here is under square root, number under the square root does not be a negative number, so that also again violates the law of math, right? So avoid this condition. Here they mention x cannot take a value as -1. Now look, so what common, how do I simplify it? So look at to the numerator part here. X square is the common for this entire expression. So what I do, I take x square as a common out. Then what we left with then? X to the power 3 plus x to the power 2 plus x plus 1, right? So if you multiply back x square to this entire expression, you'll be getting the same as before. So x to the power 5 plus x to the power 4 and so on. So the denominator term here is x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. So now look at the numerator and the denominator have the same expression, so I can cancel them entire expression. So I can cancel them, and this equation is simplified to x square. So this entire expression is equivalent to x square. So this is how the help we can make use of the factoring out to simplify the expressions. All right. Okay, now let's move to the next, that is distributing. Distributing is factoring in reverse. It's opposite of what we do in factoring. When an entire expression is in the parenthesis, it is being multiplied by some factors. You can distribute those factor into each term and get rid of this parenthesis. So this is what the rule we follow when we simplify for, or we follow the distributing the terms. So let's consider here example 3x is the term which I have taken it considered as an factored out, and I have to multiply this 3x to the expression which has kept in a bracket. So when you multiply 3x to this expression, remember when you are multiplying, the 3x should be multiplied to each term in a bracket. So sometimes the students do they error, they just multiply the first term and they forget to multiply with the second term or third term if available. So you have to multiply the term which has been factored out to the entire parenthesis, so what entire expression which is inside that bracket, right? So then 3x times 4, it's gonna be 12x, plus 3 times 2, it's gonna be 6. I'm writing plus because the sign here is gonna be plus. All right, 3x times 2x is gonna be 6x square. This is equivalent to 6x square plus 36. This is how we can now look at how we can distribute. Now look at 6x square and 6x square is a common both the side. I can cancel them out. I can cancel them out if and only if the term should be same along with sign. Let's say suppose if this is plus sign and here it is minus sign, you cannot. So as the term here has both 6x square term on the both left side and the right side of the expression along with the sign are same, then I can cancel them out, right? Then this equation becomes simplified as the 12x is equivalent to 36. I need the value of x, so divide by 12, divide by 12, so that gives you the value of x is gonna be 3, right? 12 times 3, it's gonna be 36. So this is the value of x. This is how you use for distributing. All right, so let's move to the next and the very important topic as per the algebra concern, because competitive exams expect you to know how to solve a simultaneous equations, or we also say a system of equations effectively. It means like you have to solve as quick as you can, because all the competitive exams are the time based, so you have to be make sure that you are completing that particular question on the specified time. So we have to improve our speed how we can solve, so with the some strategies or the shortcuts what we follow. All right, now let's discuss in detail. So what type of equations we say a simultaneous equation, and how we create, because there are certain scenarios comes when there is a question, they expect us to create a simultaneous equations and then solve. So if I'm talking about the SAT, you'll be expecting questions based on simultaneous equations in three ways. The first way what you're gonna do is they just ask you is the system of equation has solutions or not, or it mean to say is it possible to solve the given system of equations. This is the first type of question what you expect in the SAT. Second type question here is after knowing, so what is the value of x or what is the value of y, so they just give you a simultaneous equations or they just give you a word problem. From that word problem they expect us to create a simultaneous equations, and after that they may tell you to solve or they may just keep expression itself as an answer keys. So this is the second type. And the third type here is the simultaneous equation can involve with the inequalities. So the question expect us to solve those simultaneous equations and then find the value of x or y or any unknown what mentioned in that question, right? So these are the three varieties of question what you expect in SAT based on the simultaneous equations. Of course the other exams also involve the same strategies, but I'm just discussing in relate with SAT. Now it is possible to have a set of equations that can't be solved individually but can be solved in combine. Such equations are called simultaneous equations. In general, simultaneous equations we represent in this way. So a1x plus b1y is equals to c1, a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. This is the way of expressing the simultaneous equations with two variables. Simultaneous equation can also with the three variables also, x, y, z are the three variables. So here in our case we are mainly discussing about the simultaneous equations with two variables. So where x and y are the variables, a1, b1, c1 and a2, b2, c2, these all are constants. Constants means they have the fixed value, and x and y are the variables. X and y are variables here, so they expect us to find the values of x and y if it is possible based on the conditions. All right, so as I mentioned, in competitive exams, students may also be asked to determine the value of a constant or a coefficient of an equation in which the system has no solution, one solution or infinitely many solutions. So instead of solving, they may expect you a question, you may expect the questions based on this kind of, asking like this: is the given system of equation has solutions or not? If there, how many solution? One solution, two solution, many solutions, and so on, right? So how do we decide, or how do we check whether the given system of equation has solutions or not, or how many solutions they have? These are the three main point what we need to know about. Let's consider the first condition as when we can say a system of equation has no solution. So let's consider the same example here. A1 x plus b1 y is equals to c1, a2 x plus b2 y is equals to c2, where a1 b1 c1 and a2 b2 c2 are constants, right? Now question there, if the system of equation has to be no solution, then this should satisfy the condition. So when I can say the system of equation has no solution, if and only if the coefficient of x here and the coefficient of x here should be same, the coefficient of y here and the coefficient of y here should be same, but the constant values, that is the value of c1 and the c2 should be different. That is the condition. So as we mentioned, a1 should be equal to a2, b1 should be equal to b2, but c1 is not equal to c2. You have to check what is the coefficient of the given expression. Based on that, decide whether the given system of equation has solution or not. All right, let's take one example here. Example here says 2x minus y equals to minus 3, 4x minus 2y is equals to 4. Now just think of it, is this system of equation has solution or not? By looking at this one, you might say that here it is 2, here it is 4, here it is negative 1, here it is negative 2, here it is negative 3, and here it is 4. You might be see all the values of a1 and a2 are different, b1 or b2 are different, and c1 and c2 are also different. I mean, a1 is not equal to a2, b1 is not equal to b2, and c1 is not equal to c2. You may see like that, but reality is that you can multiply this expression by any number, like multiply this expression by 2, or you can divide this expression by 2. In that case, your coefficient of x and y becomes same. So you can do modification like this, right? They don't just give you a direct expression to identify whether the system of equation has solution or not. So they may also give it in this way. You have to think, is there any a single or a common number with which I can multiply to make the coefficient of x, x in both the expression is same, or the coefficient of y in both expression is same? If it is so, then you can make it. So this I can write now, this expression further written as 4x minus 2y equals to negative 6, and second expression is 4x minus 2y is equals to 4. As I said, you can multiply the first expression by 2, or you can divide the second expression by 2 to make the coefficient of x and y are same, right? Now look, the coefficient of x here is same, that is 4, a coefficient of y here is same, that is -2, and the constant terms, the value of c1 and c2 are different. If this is the case, then we say this system of equation has no solution. If I talk you in terms of a graph, no solution, it means the line doesn't meet each other. So two lines never meet each other, those lines we say they have no solution. It means the lines are parallel. Now if I sketch the graph for this, let's take, if I'm sketching the graph for this, let in the xy plane, x-axis and y-axis, if you substitute the value of x as 0 here, the value of y it's gonna be 3. Let's say 1 2 3. Okay, I'm talking about the equation 1. If you substitute the value of x equals to 0 here, the value of y it's gonna be 3. If you substitute the value of x here as 1, then the value of y it's gonna be, simplify that, if you substitute the value of x as 1, the value of y it's gonna be of 5, and so on, 4 5 something here. When x is 1, value of y it's gonna be 5, so on. When the value of x is gonna be -1, the value of y it's gonna be 1 something. I'm just drawing a rough sketch. Okay, so this is how the equation, this is how the graph of the line first expression looks. You can also convert that into y is equals to mx plus b, that is in the line equation of a line form, and you can plot it. So I'll be discussing that in later class, that's relating with the linear functions. All right, so now in the same way, if you sketch the equation for the second expression, so what it becomes, when x is equal, when x is 0, the value of y it's gonna be -2. So when the x is 0, the value of y it's gonna be here -2. When x is 1, simplify it, when x is equals to 1, then the value of y it's gonna be 0. When x is equals to -1, so value of y it's gonna be 4 something. When x is equals to -1, the value of y it's gonna be, sorry, -4 somewhere, -4 somewhere over here. So this is how the second line goes. And remember here, these, if I'm saying this is the line 1 and these are line 2, these two lines are parallel lines, they never meet each other. So that's why we say the given system of equation has no solution, and in graph terms we say those are parallel lines and they never meet each other, no matter how long you extend both the side, right? This is all about the condition when we say the system of equation has no solution. Just compare the coefficients and decide. Right, now let's go to the second part. Okay, before that, let's solve an example here. This is how a question you may expect based on this condition what we discussed. In the system of linear equations, k is a constant. If the system has no solution, what is the value of k? They are clearly saying that if the system has no solution, when they say system has no solution, yes, we know the coefficient of x should be same value, the coefficient of y should be same value, but the constants are different. Now look at to that expression and try to make, first check whether if the coefficient of whatever the unknown is along with x, then you have to make the coefficient of y should be same to satisfy this condition. Right, suppose if the constant or the unknown value or the k is supposed to be with y, then you have to make a coefficient of x should be same to satisfy the condition, that is system has no solution. So where here along it is along with x here, so we have to make the coefficient of y to be same here. So the coefficient of y here is 8, but the coefficient of y here is 4. So how I can make this expression, value of y here is also again 8. So we need to multiply this expression by 2. If you are multiplying, you should multiply the entire expression, not only the coefficient of y. You have to multiply for the entire expression. So now this expression further can be written as the first one I am writing as it is, kx plus 8y is equals to 10, and the second expression is going to be 2 times 2x is going to be 4x plus 8y is equals to 8. That's it. Now Now we made into the actual condition that the system of equation has no solution. Why? To become a no solution, the coefficient of y here are same, then coefficient of x also must be same, then the value of k and this number should be same. Therefore I can say the value of k here is 4. To make the system of equation as no solution, the value of k should be equal to 4, and 4 is the one of the option available in the choice given. Remember, you just can't just say like, as they said, the equation has no solution and you are taking the value of k as 2 just by comparing the coefficients. So don't do that, because before comparing the coefficient you should check whether the coefficients of x and y are equal or not. If they are equal, yes, you can do directly. If not, you have to make it by just multiplying or dividing by the some number, and then you have to compare, or then you have to find which is the unknown they are expecting you to solve. All right, this is the type of question what do you expect based on no solution. Okay, let's move to the another condition called when we can say a system of equation has one solution. So what is the condition, or how can we say the system of equation has one solution? Let's consider another example or same equations in referring to the previous one. This is a1x plus b1y is equals to c1, a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. These are the system of equations, and we can say the system of equation has one solution if the equation has one solution if and only if they satisfy this condition. To check the system of equation has one solution, we need to consider the three situations here. So let me mention this as condition 1, condition 2, and this is going to be condition 3. So they are same, just we are comparing the coefficient value equal or not equal, something like that. So now look at the first condition says to system of equation has to have a one solution. The first condition says the coefficient of x and the coefficient of y in both the expressions should be different. That is, a1 should not be equal to a2, b1 should not be equal to b2, c1 should not be equal to c2. This is the first thing what we check. If not, sometime a1 may be equal to a2, but other two terms or other two coefficients and the constants should not be equal to. If a1 can also be equal to a2, but if a1 is equal to a2, then b1 should not be equal to b2 and c1 should not be equal to c2. So example, what I can write it here as 2x plus 3y is equals to 5. I can say again here as the 2x plus, let's take 4y is equals to 7. Now look at here, the coefficient of x can be same, but the coefficient of y are different and the constant terms are different. So coefficient of one variable can be same, but other has to be different. Again, this can also be with the case coefficient of x cannot be same, but coefficient of y can be same, but the constant term cannot be same, or means they can be equal. So example, I can say here as 2x plus 4y is equals to 8, x minus x plus 4y is equals to 7. So look at, in this case the coefficient of x here is 2 and the coefficient of x here is 1. If you are not writing anything, means the coefficient of that number here is going to be 1, so that this can also be written as 1x. So the value of a1 and a2 here are different, but the value of b1 and the b2 here are same. The c1 and c2 are different. So this is how you check the system of equation has one solution. These are the conditions to check the system of equation has one solution. Now, if a system of equation has one solution, then how do we solve? There are two approaches when we use to solve a system of equation when they have a one solution. So which are those? The one, I can use a method called the elimination, and another one I can use the method as the substitution. So each method has their own importance. So when to use the elimination, when to use the substitution, it's completely depends on you which method you are comfortable with. All right, so you can go with either, you're gonna get the same answer at the end. Now let me show you in a both the way how we can work out. Okay, 2x plus 3y is equals to 5 and x plus 2y is equals to 3. In the system of equation above, what is the value of x and y? So they are asking us what is the value of x and y. So before doing that, what should I do? I have to check, is the coefficient of x here and x here is same? No. Is the coefficient of y here and y here is same? No. Is the constant terms here are same? No. Then definitely this system of equation has one solution. It means I'll be having the one value of x and one value of y when we solve that, right? So this is how we can predict, or this is how we can analyze before solving, right? Now let me start with the elimination method. Let me take this expression as it is. 2x plus 3y equals to 5, x plus 2y is equals to 3. Now decide which term you would like to eliminate. So eliminate the term which is like a simple, eliminate the term which makes, your calculation simple, or take the simplest term, smallest term to eliminate, because it requires the less calculation. So I decided to eliminate the term x from this one. Then to eliminate this x, you can't just do it, you have to make the coefficient of x here and the coefficient of x here same but opposite in sign. It's basically when you add the two system of equations, one term should be plus, one term should be minus to get rid of that part. So that's what we need to do. So I can multiply this entire expression by -2, or I can change the sign at the end when we do the operation. Both are same. So now let me just multiply this expression by -2. Okay, now what this equation becomes, let me keep the first term expression as it is. 2x plus 3y is equals to 5, and then after multiplying this entire expression by -2, what happens? X times -2, it's going to be -2x, plus times minus, it's going to be minus 2 times 2y, it's going to be 4y, equals to plus times minus is going to be minus 6. Now after making this, what we can do now? Plus 2x minus 2x, add the system of equations. When you add it, so plus 2x and minus 2x get cancelled out, plus 3y minus 4y, so it becomes minus y is equivalent to plus 5 minus 6, it's going to be -1. So from this one I can say the value of y, it's going to be 1 now. Once you know the value of y, you can substitute this value of y in any of the equation to solve for x, all right? So what I do is, let me substitute in the second expression because this is the simplest one. X plus 2 times of 1 is equals to 3. So x plus 2 equals to 3. So from this one we also get the value of x as 1, right? So this is how we got the value of x is 1 and the value of y is 1. So this is how the system, system of equation we solve by the elimination method. Now let's see with the substitution part. Substitution, it means, let me take that example as it is. 2x plus 3y equals to 5, x plus 2y equals to 3. With the substitution, you can convert one of the expression everything in terms of x, and then you can replace that value or that expression for x in the another equation, or you can also do it for the in terms of y as well. So what I am trying to do here is, I'll be writing this expression in terms of x. So x is equal to -2y plus 3, right? Then substitute this basically, this x is equivalent to this. Now substitute the value of or expression for the x where x is appearing into the another expression. So now this becomes 2 times -2y plus 3 plus 3y equals to 5. Now apply the distribution. 2 times -2y, it's going to be -4y, plus and plus 2 times 3, it's going to be 6, plus 3y is equivalent to 5. So negative 4y plus 3y, so this becomes minus y plus 6 equals to 5, minus 6 from both the side, so you'll be getting it as y is minus 6 from the both the side, we'll be getting it as y negative y is equals to negative 1, or this can also be said y equals to 1. Once you get the value of y equals to 1, substitute this in the expression to solve for x. So where we can substitute here, right? So we know that x is equals to negative 2 times 1 plus 3. So x is equals to minus 2 plus 3. So x equals to 1. So see, we are getting the same value of x and the y if I go with the either method. So that is, whichever is convenient to you, follow either elimination or substitution based on the question they asked. Okay, now when we talk about geometry or the system of equation, about the geometry, when we can say the system of equation has one solution, it means if you plot a graph of those two system of equations, there is a one common point in the xy plane where both the lines are meeting, and that point are called the solutions to the system of equation, or those points are called the values of x and y. And that is how we identify in terms of a graph. So if I'm plotting this both expression, let's take in a xy plane, one line, it's I'm just taking as an rough, okay? So one line is going something like this, increasing, and the another line is going something like this, decreasing. Let's take, I can say this is the line 1 and I can say this is line 2. These two lines are meeting at the point this. So at how many point these lines are meeting? At only one point. That's we say the given system of equation has one solution. If these two lines are meeting at 2 points, then we say they will have two solutions. If they are meeting at 3 points, they will have three solutions, and so on. So according to this, the two lines are getting intersect at the common point, that is has the one solution. According to this, we have the value of x is also 1 and the value of y is also 1. So the point of intersection or the point of meet is going to be 1 comma 1 in the xy plane. This is how we represent that system of equation with one solution graphically, right? Here I have considered some other example relating with, sometime in a competitive exams they just simply expect you to simplify the given expression, and after simplifying, whatever the answer you gonna get, whatever the result you gonna get, that itself is your answer. Let's consider to this example, if half of x plus 1/3 of y is equals to 4, what is the value of 3x plus 2y? Now look, here only one equation they have given to you and they are expecting us to, what is the value of 3x plus 2y. So remember, if one equation with the two variables, it's not possible to solve. I mean, it's not possible to get what is the value of x and what is the value of y. There are multiple values of x and y to satisfy that same equation, but from that one I don't know what is the fixed one or what is the one value, right? So that is, we say one equation with the two unknowns, it's not possible to solve. So now, but how we do here, look at, they are not asking you here what is the value of x and what is the value of y. So they are not asking here at an individual x and individual y, because we can't solve it. So but question here is, what is the value of 3x plus 2y? Then how do I get it? Just simply further simplify this expression, like this is the fractional expression which you are represented. Further simplify it, and after simplifying, what is the simple term or the last term you get, or the last expression you get, which you cannot simplify it further, that itself is your answer. Now look at how do we do. Half of x plus 1/3 of y is equals to 4. Now this is the fractional, I have to make a common denominator. So what would be your common denominator? Here it is 2 and here it is 3. So your common denominator should be 2 times 3, that is 6. That is the least common multiple. Why? Because 2 is also different, 3 is also different, they never come in individual tables, so that when you multiply with each other, 6 is the first common term which appears in both. That's we say the least common multiple. Now to make a common denominator here as 6, you have to multiply this expression by 3. Here also you need to multiply by 3. To make a denominator here as 6, you have to multiply by 2. Here you need to multiply by 2. So now 1 into 3 is 3. 3 times x is going to be, numerator become 3x by 6 plus 1 into 2 it's going to be 2. 2 times y it's going to be 2y by 6 equals to 4. So 6 is the common denominator. So I can write this as 3x plus 2y equals to 4. Sorry, this is 6 is the common denominator, not the 4. 3x plus 2y equals to 4, but I need the value of 3x plus 2y, so I have to get rid of this 6. So multiply 6 on both the side. So you'll be getting this as 3x plus 2y is equal to 24. See, this is the one of the option available here. So they are asking us the value as together. 3x plus 2y is equivalent to 24. So these are the type of question what you may expect in any competitive exam, especially for the SAT, GMAT, GRE and so on, and along with ACT as well. Right? Okay. Let's consider another example here. 5x minus y equals to 11, 2x minus 2y equals to 9. Based on the system of equation above, what is the value of x plus, sorry, what is the value of 3x plus y? They are asking us what is the value of 3x plus y. So first verify the coefficient of x here and here is different, y here and here is different, and the constant terms are different. Yes, there are the possible values of x and y, but the question here is what is the value of 3x plus y? You can do it in either way. First you can solve individually for x, then you can solve for y by using those elimination or substitution method, or you can also use a calculator. If the exam allow you to use a calculator, to make use of a calculator, what we go first, we have to go into mode, then you have to press 5, that is we have to select the 5 is only selecting the equations. In that equations, then you have to press 3. 3 says the simultaneous equations with two variables. Mode 5 3, that's for the scientific calculator. If you put after that, just insert the value coefficient of x, coefficient of y and the constant term, keep inserting and just press equal, you will be getting the value of x and y's. Right? Now what if they are not allowing us to use a calculator? Of course we have to follow either elimination or substitution, but elimination or substitution will be using only when to find the individual values, that is what is the value of x or y, whenever they are asking you individual values. But whenever they are asking the what is the value of something, x plus y, something with their coefficient, then I would suggest, instead of solving directly for x and y and then substituting and simplifying, my suggestion is, before doing that, try to add this expression directly and try to, if works with addition, that itself is the answer. If not, try to subtract this expression directly. Now look at, why I'm saying here is because every competitive exam has a limited time, so you don't, you can't able to find x and y by substitution or elimination and then substitute and simplify, because they are using some trick here. So the purpose of giving this kind of question here is they just want to check is students are using any shortcuts to solve. So my suggestion, before going with the elimination or substitution, whenever there is a question asking for together, try to add them. After adding, you should get 3x plus y. If not, try to subtract them. After subtracting, you should get 3x plus y. Definitely, most of the time, especially in a SAT, if this is the type of question appearing under non-calculator section, then most of the time you can get your answer in this way. Right? Now look at, when you are adding it, 2x plus 3, sorry, 5x plus 2x, it's giving me 7x, minus y minus 2y, it's going to be minus 3y. 7x minus 3y, no, because I'm looking for 3x plus y. This is not possible. Then what else I can do now? Instead of adding, I can do the another thing. As I told, first check with addition. If it doesn't work, check with the subtraction. then subtract each other. Subtracting it means you have to just change the sign. Plus becomes negative, negative becomes positive, and positive becomes negative. Now what happens? 5x minus 2x, what we gonna get here as 3x, minus y plus 2y, it's gonna be y, equals to 11 minus 9, it's gonna be 2. See, you'll be getting answer hardly in a fractions of second, maybe 10 or 20 seconds. What they are looking here is what is the value of 3x plus y. 3x plus y value is going to be 2. This is how you directly solve, right? This is the strategy. So you need to look at to this expression, try to add them or subtract. When we are using, only when there is an question relating what is the value of x plus 2y, 3x plus 2y, or something like x plus y together. That's how we can make use of it and solve it. All right. Let's check the next condition, that is infinite solutions, or we can say infinitely many solutions. When we can say a system of equation has infinitely many solution, here is consider the conditions here. The system of equation has infinitely many solution if and only if the coefficient of x, coefficient of y, and the constant term in that entire expression should be equal. Then only we say the system of equation has infinitely many solutions, right? Let me take example here. 2x plus 3y is equals to 6. 4x plus 6y is equals to 12. Now I can say the given system of equation has infinitely many solutions. So you might be saying here, here it is 2, here it is 4. As I told, if you multiply this entire expression by 2 or you divide this entire expression by 2, you're gonna get the same terms, right? After multiplying, this becomes 4x plus 6y is equals to 12, and this equation as it is 4x plus 6y is equals to 12. Look at the coefficient of x here is same, coefficient of y here is same, and the constant terms are also same. So these are called the system of equation has many solution or infinite solution. If I'm talking in terms of a graph, it means two lines which are overlapping on the xy plane. So those two lines have the same values of x and y wherever the or whichever the point you consider, like this. So we can say like this, right? So let's say xy plane, line 1 is something like this, line 2 is also overlapping on it, so line 2 is also overlapping on it, it means it's touching on it. So that is we say the overlapping. So we say whatever the point you consider for x and y, the same value will be for both the expression for the x and y. So that's we say the given system of equation has infinitely or many solutions. Let's consider an example. Here k times x plus b is equals to 4x plus 10. This is the system of equation what they have given. In the equation above, k and b are constants. If the equation has infinitely many solutions for x, what is the value of b? They clearly saying that the given system of equation has infinitely many solutions. It means the coefficient of x is same, coefficient of y is same, and the constant terms are same, right? Now first apply the distribution. So this expression can be written as kx plus kb should be equal to 4x plus 10. Here the y term is missing because we are equating with each other. So this expression they may also write it in this way. The first the y is equals to k times x plus b and y is equals to 4x plus 10 something, and I can equate them and solve. That's just a way of representing. So kx plus kb is equals to 4x plus 10. They said the system of equation has infinitely many solution means the coefficient of x should be same. Then from this one I can say the value of k, it's gonna be 4, and the constant terms also must be same. So kb should be equivalent to 10. So this is how I get the value from that. So I can say kb is equivalent to 10. So from this one the value of k I know. So substitute for k, 4b is equivalent to 10. So that gives you the value of b as 10 by 4, that is 2.5, or we can also say 5 by 2. So this is the value of B for the system of equation to have infinitely many solutions. That is, answer choice A is the right answer to this question. All right. So this is how a type of question you may expect on this. Okay. Let's move to the other. That is, in competitive exams, apart from just simply solving the system of equations, you may also expect questions based on this to create, solve and interpret the system of linear equations with the two variables. Sometimes they expect you to create yourself and then solve the equation. Sometimes they just expect you to create and keep as it is, and the one of the option itself as an equation what you got, right? So this is how we need to know, like creating an equations and solving. It's basically a word problem, so whatever they are telling in terms of word, you have to translate into a math expression, and then you have to solve it based on the conditions what they are giving to us. All right, so here I have considered some examples. Example here says the toll rate for crossing a bridge are $6.5 for a car and a $10 for a truck. During the 2-hour period, a total of 187 cars and trucks crossed the bridge, and the total collected in tolls was $1,338. Solving which of the following system of equation yields the number of car X and the number of truck Y that crossed the bridge during the 2-hour period, right? So this is the word equation, the word problem which involving the two unknowns, that is the car and truck, and they mention that make use letter X for number of cars and the Y for the number of trucks. So look at carefully here. Here they have mentioned during the 2-hour period the total 187 cars and the trucks crossed. So the number of cars plus number of trucks during that period of time, which total crossed as the 187. After writing just first part of an expression, go to the answer keys where you get the x plus y as 187. That may be your answer, and where we are getting other, that cannot be. So now look at to the first option, x plus y is equals to 1338. This cannot be your answer. X plus y 187, yes, B can be, C can be, and the D can also be. So I can't predict the based on only this step what would be the answer. Then I have to look at to the next part as well. So what the next part is saying, they are charging $6.5 for each car, that is per car they are charging $6.5, and the 10 per each truck. So there are x number of cars, and x number of cars multiplied by the 6.5, that gives you the what is the total amount you earned only from the cars. Same way, number of trucks multiplied by 10, that gives you the what is the total amount you earned from the trucks. So the amount earned from the car plus the amount earned from the truck, that is equals to 1338. So that I can write it as 6.5x plus 10y should be equal to 1338. So these are the system of equation what I get. So look at here, give as per the given options where it is 6.5x plus 10y is equals to 1338. So according to this, B is the right answer to this question. So this is how, here they just expected us to create an equation, they didn't tell us to solve. Another step what you may expect here is, if this question is appearing under the calculator section for SAT, they may expect you to solve how many trucks or how many cars pass through the toll, like that. So you just need to solve for x or y by using the simultaneous equation techniques. All right, let's consider another example here. A food truck sells a salad for $6.5 each and a drink for $2 each. The food truck's revenue from the selling a total of 209 salads and the drinks in one day was $836.50. How many salads were sold that day? So here similar to the previous one, but they are asking what is the particular value, right? Let's first create an equation. A food truck sells a salad for this much amount and the drink for this much amount, and the total they sold 209 salads and drinks. So it means if I consider, if I'm considering the salad as x and the drinks as y, let me just create an equation. The first thing what I can do here is number of salad plus number of drink what they sold on that day, it's going to be 209, right? And the salads are sold at the cost of $6.5 each and the drink at the cost of $2 each. Then I can say 6.5x plus 2y. From this one they earned an amount of 836.50, 836.50. Now we have a system of equation. Now you can use either the elimination or substitution to simplify it. Now what I suggest here is, as we are looking to solve for only one variable, better I go with the elimination method. That makes, because one of the term I can eliminate it directly, so it won't be involving in, and whatever the result you are getting, that itself is the answer. Otherwise if you are going with the substitution, then you have to find that, then you have to substitute in the back equation to get the another value, right? So better go with elimination. Whenever they just asking you for the one, either x or y, I suggest you to go with elimination, so that can help you to save some time. Now we have to solve for x, so let's eliminate y. So how do I eliminate here? Here it is plus 2y, but here it is just y. So what I do, I'll be multiplying this entire expression by -2. After multiplying, this will be your equation. Let me just write it here. That becomes -2x -2y is equals to negative, what we gonna get, 418, right? 209 times 2, it's going to be -418. So this term as it is 6.5x plus 2y is equals to 836.50. Now you can directly cancel out the y term. So this is plus 2y and this is minus 2y. So what we are getting, -2x and positive 6.5x, then we can it as 4.5x is equivalent to 836 minus 418. So what it becomes, 836.50 minus 418.00. So what we're gonna do when we subtracting the 50 as it is, 16 minus 8, it's gonna be 8. I'm taking one carry forward here, okay? Then it becomes 2. 2 minus 1, it's gonna be 1, and this becomes 8 minus 4, it's gonna be 4. So we are getting it as 418.50. To get the value of x, x will be written as 418.50 divided by 4.5, or I can also write 4185 divided by 45. So with this one, if you say 418 times 4185 divided by 45, you'll be getting the value here as 93, right? So that is, we get, if you simplify this expression, you'll be getting it as 93. So B is the right answer to this question. All right, so this is how you may expect a question based on the simplifying the system of equations, and they may also expect you to find the values of the particular, whether like x or y, something like that. All right guys, that's it for the today's class. Thank you so much for watching. In the next class, as I mentioned, I'll be discussing about the quadratic equations and the other steps involved in algebra. All right, thank you so much.